The hiring process always takes more time than we plan for. I just want to find a good replacement for the job. I never know if my final choice is really the best choice. I don't learn enough about the candidates from the interviews. These hiring managers all face similar challenges. Selection and hiring is complex and full of pitfalls that even the most experienced and conscientious hiring manager can fall into. What can you do to make the process less burdensome and more reliable to find the most qualified candidate for the job? There are many common pitfalls. Not considering the work that actually needs to be done, in other words, not updating the job description. Lack of clarity about the skills, knowledge, and abilities needed in the job going forward. Letting one viewpoint dominate others during the hiring decision. Inadequate or poorly constructed interview questions or unstructured interviews. Rushing to make a final decision. There are no shortcuts or easy fixes to effective selection and hiring. There are several steps that require an intentional approach to ensure a fair, thorough process to find the most qualified candidate for your position. You can do this by first asking important questions about the position. Is this the work that needs to be done to advance the priorities of the unit or department? How does the position contribute to the needs of the department in the bigger picture? What does the candidate need to be able to do on day one? What skills do they need to bring to the job versus skills that can be developed on the job? Do the position requirements reflect an opportunity to attract a diverse pool of candidates? Considering these questions enables you to visualize what you need. Second, designing effective interviews. You can do this by asking candidates questions about their past behaviors that are applicable to the job you're hiring for. For example, describe a time you didn't agree with a decision that was made. How did you handle it? What were the results? What was your biggest challenge effectively dealing with several competing demands? How did you prioritize your tasks? What were the results? Considering these questions enables you to understand how the candidate could meet the position needs. Finally, asking important questions about your hiring decision. How does their potential and experience connect to the current and future needs of the position? How can they contribute to the department instead of just fitting in? What skills do they bring and what do they need to be trained into? What biases do I have about the candidates? What information in your notes needs to be considered? Have you talked through your decision with a trusted colleague? These questions enable you to be confident that you are making the best decision. When done right, the selection and hiring process involves a clear understanding of the department needs and the selection of a candidate with the right set of skills, allowing them to contribute to the department for years to come. This is a win-win for you, your department, and your newly hired candidate.